And here to finish this quick presentation again, I hope that this will be more like I guess more like a concept, as that this PowerPoint will push you to read a little bit more and stuff, but quick things that you could buy that could give you again this information, and then you could use doing quick tests low, so again almost like building your capacities at home using those quick tests with knowledge to understand what's going on. So this is what they call a so basically what this paper do is that when you dip it in any liquid, and here they talk about urine or saliva, the color charts right over there, what it does is it gives you a pH. What's a pH is the acidity of a liquid, and in some case it can help you with differentiate X versus Y. And in some of the videos coming in, and this is why I'm kind of doing this one, is that I'll be talking about that kind of stuff. And so this, like, you see, like at $8 you can have it. Doesn't take much space, it doesn't take any batteries and stuff, so it can work at any time with low you don't need like batteries, you don't need like a iPad or anything like this. Just dipping this, getting a color, measuring, looking at the color, what it is, identify what kind of color it matched to, and then boom, you have your number. Another thing here is it's for colorectal, but the thing is that detection of blood in stools. And basically what we call that is occult blood in the stools. And so for example, if you have dark stools, and we have an hemoglobin that is low, sometime what people can do is they have a slow bleeding in their belly, and so those tests can help you detect that there's a bleeding in the stomach. Again, this would be able to tell you that this person is bleeding internally and their hemoglobin is rapidly dropping. And this will be another one for the hemoglobin. And also now, if you have an hemoglobin that is in the normal range and you have this, maybe you can wait a day or two, or maybe you decide no, it needs to go right now, because there's other stuff that can give you dark stool, and in the presentation you'll see what it is. But you see, for about $30 you got 3 tests. You can do one test. Okay, I know there's blood now in the stool, I'll monitor or I'll go. Here, that's a very easy one, and all those, by the way, I went to Amazon.com for that purpose, to show you that it's easy to buy. You don't need to be part of a hospital or something to buy that stuff, and even some pharmacy will have that kind of stuff, but it's just to show you that it's pretty easy to get. But here it's a urine analysis. Basically, somebody pees, you drip that, all the colors are over there. We do that in the hospital all the time, and with that information you can get a little bit more information on what's going on. Is there blood, is there ketones, what's their pH, is there glucose in the urine and stuff, and all this is around there. And there'll be a link as well on a good article on what does that mean, that you have, like, what does the urine test means, especially for pregnant women, because that would be a good test for having. Here's that test I was telling you about. So basically, it's a machine that takes like stuff. If you're diabetic, or if you know any diabetic, they take the measurement of sugar. But this one measure your hemoglobin. What's your hemoglobin? Is basically what's part of your blood that transport oxygen. And then if you're bleeding, so either that you have a trauma, or again if you have like a GI bleed, a gastrointestinal bleed, so that means that you're bleeding through your stools or something like that, this could be low. And so with this test you can have a quick number, just like if you would be in the hospital, they would do the blood test. That's basically what we do when we check that. And it can give you an idea. It's like, whoa, okay, this person really drops, so she's anemic, or she's this, or she's that. And so that quick test right here, you see, it's about $60. This one does require battery, but it's low impacts and stuff. There's other ones that can be accessed and that you can use for, which I have in my kits to use in developing country, but they're harder to get. But this one is pretty easy to get, kind of low. I mean, like right now with all the tests that I've looked, like it's maybe like less than $100. You have pretty much your mini labs at home that you can do some tests. Here's a Paris glass test tubes. Again, here basically somebody could put their sputum in there, so you could check different things. You could put blood in there if you know how to collect blood, or even like bleed somebody inside there. And then basically with this, you could say different layers. You could put urines, and with this, because they're in Pyrex, that means you could heat them up. And then there's a test that you can do, and I'll put a link as well in this article, especially for pregnant women, and it's part also in the presentation. You can say if somebody has protein in their urine or things like that. So basically, you see, like for $8, that's not bad to have like a quick test, and it doesn't take much space to do that stuff. Here it looks like it's urine, but this one, what it does, and the reason that I'm putting this one versus another one, it tells you how much sugar you have, but through your urine. And the reason that I put this one is that obviously any electronic could fail. So if you have an EMP or whatever, your machine could fail, or you lost batteries, or you don't have enough battery, or you drop the machines and stuff. Those reactors basically works all the time. You just have to keep them in a proper place and all that stuff. But basically, it can give you your urine, your sugar through your urine. So how much sugar you have through how much sugar you have in your test. And so basically, that could be a good backup, especially if you're diabetic, to your machine, because now it's low. Or even in a bug out bag, because now you can leave that in. You don't have to monitor the machine, keep up the batteries and things like that. So that could be a good test to have. And we'll finish here with what we call a gram stand kit. And why do I need a gram stand kit? A lot of people in when they're high schools and stuff, they play with that stuff and everything. And I'll link again another articles that I have here in with very low, like very easy. I mean, they taught that at high school. So anyone that knows how to use a microscope, or even you can learn quickly, if you know how to use, and see, like it comes with instruction and everything. So for $20, here's why I recommend having a gram stain kit. The gram stain kit, and you'll see in the presentation, they talk about gram stain positive, gram stain negative. So what this does is that when somebody comes with an infection, a lot of time, well, not a lot of time, all the time, what we'll do is we send culture. We'll send culture of their blood, culture of their urine, culture of pretty much everything. If they have a wound, we'll send a culture of their urine. What we're trying to see, what cultures do is for 2 or 3 days, the lab does a special thing. They keep them either heated or on a special little round things that feed the different bacteria and stuff. And what they're trying to do is what kind of bacteria are growing on there, if there's any bacteria. When the bacteria or the virus, or mostly the culture is for viral, but for bacteria, there's some special things for virus. But what they're doing is they're seeing what kind of bacteria. When we know what kind of bacteria, then we can choose what kind of antibiotics there is. So obviously this is a very long process. Like I said, it takes about 2 or 3 days, and very labor and not just labor, but also gear required. Like, I mean, you need a full lab and a technician and knowing how to do and stuff. But this is a very quick test. And what it can tell you is that if it's gram positive, gram negative. And then what gram positive or gram negative can tell you is that what kind of antibiotics you can choose from. So for those that pack antibiotics or would have access to antibiotic or whatever, it can tell you which antibiotics to use quickly if you have a bacterial infection. But that also means that if you did it properly, obviously, and it didn't grow anything, so it's basically it's a color thing, it's either purple or pink, if it didn't come out with any color, that means the infection that you have is not bacterial, it's viral or something else, meaning that antibiotic wouldn't work. So basically what I'm saying right here is that, let's say somebody has a pneumonia, and I mentioned that before and stuff, is that, okay, so you collect a sputum, you do your Grand Stem negative, your Grand Stem kit, your Grand Stem test, and then your Grand Stem comes back negative. That means that it's not Grand Stem negative or Grand Stem positive. It is that there's no Grand Stem, there's no coloring or anything, and you're pretty sure that you did your test correctly. That means that it's a viral infection. So that means no antibiotic for that person. That whatever they have, it's a virus or something else, but it's not bacterial, aka antibiotics won't work. So you see that for $20, I can have three information. Either does the antibiotic that I have will cover what I'm having, and if so, which antibiotic should I choose? Is it Gram positive or Gram negative? Second, if it's not it tells me if it's a bacterial infection. Some yeast infection apparently will come out. If not, it will tell me that it's a viral infection. Therefore, no antibiotics will be doing stuff. And then you can do this for any specimen that comes. So for example, if somebody again has sputum, they can do that. If it comes from a wound, then you can tell that. If it comes from the urine, you can do that as well. So you can do it for any type of fluids that you can collect, and you can Grand Stem it. So that's why I thought it's a good test, because basically it tells you antibiotic, no antibiotic, and if there is antibiotic, which type of antibiotic could work. So anyway, that was a quick overview. Again, the presentation will be there. Again, hi. This is not a information as self-diagnose yourself. Don't go to emergency if you have any of the problems and stuff. But more as a information. Please do your own research, and this is what out there, and a quick kit that you could put together for what, about $150, and basically you would have a lot of capacity to increase your knowledge, and not so much your knowledge but your decision making on, should I bug out, bug in, should somebody go with this person over there because this is way too serious, versus I could probably stay in and maybe try to do something about that. So anyway, if you have any question, just leave it in the comments downstairs below. I still say the downstairs thing, and I'll talk to you soon.